Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Hey.
I never know what the opening's going to be. I love it.
So, what am I doing? I've got live on here, and it shows the show, but there's nothing up. So, am I?
What do you mean there's nothing up?
Oh, it has a button. After the play button.
What are you on the page?
I'm on Ghost Chronicles. Oh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ghost Chronicles Morning Edition, and I'm on that page trying to find us. Anyways, I am Ron Kolick, your host, and with me, of course, is the Professor Lou Belazzi.
Well, there you either click the one that says it's gone live.
No, whatever. I've had enough. I'm going to exit out. I don't want to know. Screw you. There you go.
You can watch on that screen.
Yeah, but I was going to look in the chat, the Facebook chatty thing, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, you can get the chat.
Never mind. I'm just confused.
You can get the chat on that computer too.
Never mind. I'm just totally confused. Just forget it. So it is another hot day, as hot and humid as always. And you know what?
Have we had any 90-degree days?
Oh, yeah.
Have we?
We had 5 in a row.
Did we? Okay.
You forget that little one? Where were you?
I don't know.
Checked out.
I was at the beach.
Checked out that time.
I was at the beach. No, I don't remember.
It's probably cooler at the beach.
I don't remember hitting 90.
It was probably cooler at the beach.
That's what I mean. I don't remember hitting 90.
Yeah, I did.
The Globe came out with a heat wave headline today, and a heat wave.
Yeah, we had 5 days. Okay. Yeah. Not this week, but in the past.
Yeah. This year. Okay.
Yeah.
This month?
I don't know. You're confusing me. I don't want to think about the weather. I've got other things, more important things.
All right.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, I'm getting fed up with everybody's attitude.
Oh, see, I was fed up with the Globe. That wasn't good enough for you. Now you're going to be fed up with...
Well, I'm fed up with your attitude too, but that's besides the point.
Good for you.
But, yeah, I mean, everybody's just got their panties in a bunch about something.
Oh, God, it's unbelievable.
Because, so I have come up with the perfect solution.
Excellent. Good. We need it.
Absolute perfect solution. And in the words of Sir Rodney King, why can't we just all get along?
Yeah.
So, as you know, we have a lot of holidays, and everybody wants a holiday. We just added the new one, Juneteenth, whatever the hell that is.
Juneteenth, that's the celebration of the day that Texas set
another makeup holiday. Whatever.
No, not made up.
It's makeup holidays. So here it is. Okay, listen.
No, because here's why I'm going to tell you you're wrong on this.
No, I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Just listen
on
to me.
Juneteenth, you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
That's a good holiday.
It's. There are some people who do not celebrate Martin Luther King's Day. They have the day off, but no way in hell they celebrate it.
Okay.
All right. So 19th it did happen. It was the day that slavery ended in a thing, and that's all great and all cool. But as long as we have these divisions, the country's not going to get any better. I mean, I've lived through a lot. I mean, we lived through the race riots of the 60s. We lived through the burnings in the 90s, and and all this crap. And with Kent State and people just, it doesn't work. So what we need to do is accept everybody for who they are. Not trying to change them, because evolution will change us, and that's the truth. You can see that. It may take longer, but it does happen. So I'm going to abolish all the holidays.
Okay.
But stay with me, except for the 4th of July.
Oh, excellent.
Which will now be
my favorite.
Which will now be a 3-day holiday.
Mm-hmm.
You will have 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day.
Very good.
So you will honor the birth of this country. You will honor those who died keeping this country together, and you will honor those serving to protect this country.
Fair. That's fair.
So that's a good holiday, right?
Yep.
Nobody should have anything against that. No, somebody sure. Well, so get over it, anyways.
Here's my
However, wait a minute. Let me get it. This is the good part, Lou.
Yeah,
You,
okay,
you gotta listen to the whole thing before you jump all over me.
Oh, I wasn't going to jump on it. I don't have a problem with
Okay,
what you said.
let me get my thing out, and then you can comment all you want on it.
Mhm.
And then from New Year's back, we have 7-day holiday called National Holiday. Now, National Holiday, you can celebrate what the hell you want. Anything and everything. You want to celebrate Juneteenth? You want to celebrate Columbus Day, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever, Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, whatever you want. Jefferson Davis's birthday, anything you want, you can celebrate. And not only that, we'll have a freaking parade about it. And then you'll have your parade with Santa Claus and the menorah and all the Juneteenth flag and the gay light flag and the Confederate flag, and they'll all go along and they'll march down celebrating what they want to celebrate. And we'll accept them for what they are.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, then this country will be bigger, better, and stronger. Okay, come away.
I don't have a problem with any of your logic there, but my thing is about the division in this country.
Yeah.
I think it's the 80-20 rule. In other words, I think 80% of the country
hates the 20%.
They should, because 80% of the country is just out here trying to earn a living, put food on the table, put their kids through school,
True.
Keep a roof over their head.
Yeah.
They don't have any problem with Asian hate. They don't have any problem with blacks. They don't have any problem with gays, transsexuals, whatever you do, do whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not infringing on my ability to do what I need to do for my family. That to me is 80% of the country, but the media is all about the other 20%. The jackasses who need division.
That's right.
For their own personal
they have
success.
No stories if they don't have
They're
division.
sowing division because it helps them personally.
Yep.
Most of the politicians, especially on the left.
Good point.
And then there's the 10% of idiots who are racists and bigots and all that stuff. And by the way, none of these holidays, none of all these things we're talking about, the commercial ad campaigns, all that stuff, none of it is going to change them.
No, exactly. Right? It won't change it. But evolution, well, eventually, when you go and
they want us to believe that 10% is the entire country. It's systemic. It's the nation. It's built into the nation. It isn't. There's a bunch of jackasses out there.
On both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the thing is, evolution does change things. And we know that. You know that from slavery alone. Slavery ended.
This is why I like Juneteenth. Let me make this point. This is why I like Juneteenth, because all we hear in this country right now is racism is systemic. Look at slavery. Look at slavery. Nobody ever mentions we're the country that ended slavery. And that's what Juneteenth is about.
Which, by the way, was probably 90% white that freed the slaves.
Yeah.
Granted, they were the ones that, not the original. Well,
everyone goes back and focuses on slavery and the Civil War and the Southern Democrats, by the way, and the Democrats who ran the Ku Klux Klan and all that stuff. Yeah. Everyone focuses on that, but no one focuses on the fact that 600,000 people went to their deaths abolishing slavery. Yeah. That's what this country did.
Yep.
It's as much a part of our history as the slavery is, or it should be.
Which we can celebrate. That's fine. That should be taught in history class and everything else. That is the good thing. I mean, you've got to learn from the past. But
the people pounding their chest and berating you for your racial division are the people who created slavery, fought for slavery, fought to secede from the country. It's the same people.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about this country, that it's made to change and it's made to evolve. When we were first created, landholders or property owners were the only ones that could vote.
Yeah.
Women certainly couldn't vote, but that all evolved. Yes, it took time. Okay. And everything takes time, which is a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing at times, because then it's done properly. And we screwed up, prohibition. Okay. But we also had the ability to change it. That's what this country is great about. And, but you've got to accept, okay, he hates me. He doesn't like me. Fine. Let him. As long as he doesn't, as long as it doesn't affect your ability to earn a living or to live happily. And I don't mean because your feelings are hurt. I mean, because you can earn a living, buy a house, vote, whatever. As long as that doesn't affect you, then screw if he doesn't like you. Screw him. I mean, he's the one who's effed up, not you.
But think about how the racism and the biases have divided this country to the point where we're at war with each other because
And we have been for the
the
last,
attitude
how
is-
long, Lou?
yeah, the attitude is that all whites are racist. It's all about white supremacy for all of us, white privilege. We're so racist we don't even know we're racist. That's how we're all painted.
Yeah, exactly.
You have
We're the
the country is institutionally racist because slavery existed. Give me a culture in a country that doesn't have a history of slavery. Name one for me.
right.
Right? It's the
It
way
was part of the natural evolution of man.
Yeah.
And we learned from that. We learned that it was morally corrupt and so forth. And it was, so we stopped doing it.
and
We
before we
understand that,
land on
but
this
it took
country
time.
and before we land on this country for owning slaves, let's also take a look at the people who sold us the slaves, who enslaved the slaves and then sold them to
Right,
us.
Exactly.
Right? Before we start pointing fingers or throwing stones, every culture has a history of slavery.
Yeah.
Every culture.
We should, we should never ever forget history and learn that stuff.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. But, we should also realize that there are some people that will never change no matter what. I mean, they were grew up that way. They were taught that way and by their own families at times, and certainly not in school.
Yeah.
But eventually it changes when you see other people that are different than you and you get along with them. When you get along with them, there's that barrier, that hatred lessens. Okay, maybe you just dislike them. And then, eventually they're your friends. Well, who knows? It may happen. Yeah. But that's the way it works, is seeing us who we are, not the color of our skin, not what our beliefs are or anything, but just who we are as persons.
Right.
So
I do like the idea of a generic holiday.
Isn't that
just
great?
have the holiday
It's
and everybody celebrate what you want.
And we should celebrate it together, which is awesome. Think about that. A parade with, imagine the June 19th and the Confederate flag running in the same parade, right? They don't have to be side by side, but running in the same parade. It will take time. But
the Confederate flag argument pisses me off too.
What's that?
Well, everyone says that the Confederate flag is a symbol of slavery.
No, it isn't.
It isn't. It's a symbol of Southern pride,
Exactly.
right? But the South
And
is
remember,
forever,
the South lost a hell of a lot of people.
and the South is forever tainted with slavery as well. But there's more to the South than slavery.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. And again, I go back to it. The Confederate flag in the South can never be rid of the taint of slavery. But by the same token, apparently the Democrats can.
Right.
The Democrats were the slaveholders. The Democrats were the people who seceded from the country. The Democrats were the Ku Klux Klan. But all of a sudden, they're okay, but we can't forgive the South, and we can't forgive.
And we heard about just the Oklahoma massacre there. That was just a little while ago, right?
Yeah.
From the thing. So those were the Democrats who were in power then. But you remember, Lincoln was a Republican. Eisenhower sent the troops into Little Rock. The Republicans did a lot for equality.
Not only was Lincoln a Republican, but the Republican Party was started to end slavery.
Exactly.
That was the whole
Good
reason the
point.
Republican
Yeah,
Party
exactly.
exists.
So we shouldn't, I'd love to abolish parties altogether and just
we have too many
vote for
people-
men. Unfortunately, there's too much money.
We have too many people who have a personal interest in division.
Yeah.
It helps them.
Yeah.
Right. So they're out here sowing division all the time. And, did race relations get better under President Obama? No, they didn't. They got worse. We started the rioting. We started, there was,
It's been going on for the
myth of Ferguson.
many
and-
decades.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, all right.
Yeah.
So that's enough for our
Yes.
political announcements. Let's move on to something. I have a bunch of things.
So, by the way, anything that reminds us that we ended slavery too is I'm all for, which is why I'm up for Juneteenth.
I understand that. Okay.
Because we never talk about that. Nobody ever says that. This is the country that went to war
It's
to end
because it's
slavery.
used as a division. So just
Yeah.
let's let. We're moving on. It was a great topic. I grant it, and we said our piece.
Yep.
So, anyways, you ever think about robbing a bank?
I haven't. No.
No.
There's better ways to be a criminal, isn't there? Has anyone ever gotten in the last 20 years, say, has anyone ever gotten away with robbing a bank?
There has been.
How would you get away with robbing a bank?
There has been.
It have been?
Yeah.
Someone walked into a bank with a gun,
There are.
robbed it, and got away with
I
it?
don't know. Maybe during the break you can look it up, see unsolved bank cases or something like that.
Okay.
Or I can, whatever. But I will look. But I want to. We'll talk about this story, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to talk about cursed objects and stuff.
Ooh,
So
nice. Okay.
okay.
Yep.
So anyways, this guy came up with I thought it was a pretty ingenious way of robbing a bank.
Okay.
So let me bring this up since I have it in front of me. This in 2008 in Washington, a armored car was robbed in front of a bank. The guy was unloading the payroll, about $400,000, and a guy came up to him and sprayed him with
mace
into his face.
Yep.
And incapacitated him, grabbed the money, and ran. So when the police got to the scene, the driver gave him, the guard or whatever he was, gave a description of the guy, which was a guy with a mask, no regular, ventilation mask.
This was during COVID?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's 2008.
Okay.
He had a vest, glow in the dark vest on, dark glasses, and a construction helmet. And as he got the description, he looked around, and there were about 20 guys standing around with masks, vests, construction helmet, and dark glasses.
Yep.
And they asked these guys, started interviewing these guys. What is it? Well, we answered an ad. There was an ad for workers, but in order to get this job, you had to wear a vest, mask, glasses, and So one of the guys that was dressed up like this.
It's kind of ingenious.
Yeah, it gets better. One of the guys that was dressed like that told the police, he says, I did see a guy run really fast. I went after him, but I couldn't keep up, and he ran so fast and he ran into the woods. So they go into the woods and they find the vest, the mask, the glasses, and the hat. And it's by a stream. And then they looked and searched and they didn't find anybody. Well, way down the stream farther, they find an inner tube stuck on the shore. So the guy came, shed his stuff, jumped in the inner tube, floated down the thing, and lined up.
Good for him.
So I know it's a brilliant plan. So the only way, this is the weird part, and he probably would have got away with it if it wasn't for this. Okay, so they took the items that he left behind in the mask, and they were able to extract some DNA. So they ran it through the database and everything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So looks like it was a dead end. So they started going through tip calls that they had received from before the bank robbery. And this is the thing that killed the guy. There was a witness who said a man seemed to be staring at the bank and watching the bank for quite a while. Not only did she report him, she took down the license plate.
Oh, no. Really?
So, yes. So
a Karen got him.
A what?
A Karen.
It's like what, Karen?
Like that's weird in COVID. Just people who are just into other people's business. Yeah,
evidently. Okay.
She had nothing else to do but to watch this guy watch the bank for a while.
Evidently, because it's licensed out. So they found out, and this guy was a 28-year-old, happily married, 2 kids, football coach for the local school.
Yep.
Didn't fit a
brilliant plan.
Didn't fit a
plan.
So. But they didn't have anything on him, so they didn't want to arrest him. So they follow him. They follow him for quite a big time. And then one time he threw a cup into the trash, and they pulled the cup out of the trash, ran the DNA. It was him.
Wow.
And they arrested him, pleaded up, bargained. He got 6 years in jail, and actually changed his life around. Went around telling people about the problems of crime and
Did they get the money back?
They did. They claimed all. What he was heavily in debt, and he couldn't think of a way. He was at his wit's end, and he did it. But it was a brilliant plan. It really was. I was really like amazed at that. It's like,
and you'd figure
if it wasn't for that stupid, good detective work, by the way.
Yes, but you'd figure. You'd figure, I don't know, maybe it's a smaller town, they don't have much going on.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know.
Yeah, why would they?
I don't know.
Yeah. And with insurance and stuff, you figure everyone just move on, and the bank would get the insurance money, and then we move on.
Yeah, his name was, just for the record, Anthony Curico.
Anthony.
He's Italian. Curcio. That's Italian too.
It's my middle name, Anthony.
Curio?
No, Anthony.
Curacao.
Yeah.
He was the University of Idaho's football coach.
University of Idaho. Wow.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
He was a standout receiver in Monroe, Washington.
And a brilliant heist.
Of course, that's.
But anyway, that just kind of goes back to my point where how do you get away with this stuff?
I know. But that was, pure luck. No, a good detective work. They followed up everything, but pure luck. A brilliant plan.
That stupid woman.
Absolutely brilliant plan.
Yeah. And all because this woman had nothing better to do than to watch a guy watch.
He's probably sitting in this guy, just watching the banks, watching the timing and stuff.
No, I'm talking about that woman.
I know. No, I'm
she
talking
has
about
nothing
the
else
guy.
going on in her life.
Yeah.
That she's gonna. Oh, this guy's watching the bank for a long time. I've been sitting here watching him for 20 minutes. But
oh well. All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about cursed items. So you're listening to Ghost Chronicles Morning Edition right here on the net, New England Talks 102.9 FM HD2, and also on the net page. What is it?
The Net New England Talks.
New England Talks Facebook page.
The Net New England Talks Facebook page. Yeah.
My page, of course, Ronald Kolick, and also the Morning Edition, whatever. And
apparently Apple Podcast.
Oh, yeah, we're also on Apple Podcast. I keep wanting to say iTunes.
I know. That's
Apple Music, isn't it?
No, it's Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast. Okay. Yep. Anyway, we'll be back.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolick at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
Are you seeing a ghostly apparition every time you look in the mirror? Are you terrified to realize that pale, lifeless, lack of energy form hovering before you is in fact you? How would you like to be transformed? Healing begins from within, and it's never too late to start feeling good. Are you curious? Interested? Good. Don't wait another minute. Visit transformyourlifenow.org or contact Maureen. The email address is maureen@transformyourlife.org.
Everyone is cashing in on social media, and all marketing roads lead through social media. If you want to make a splash here in the Merrimack Valley, you need to tap in. This is where the new CEM podcast studios come in. Of course, you can spend your time, energy, and money learning how to wrangle technology to make a podcast instead of running your business. Or you can invest in telling everyone in the Merrimack Valley, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, the Seacoast, or everywhere in the world about your great business, product, service, or yourself. The CEM Podcast Studio is a local audio and video studio dedicated to the craft of podcast. Their studios feature state-of-the-art recording and mixing equipment designed specifically to produce the best audio and video podcast. Best of all you need to worry about is your show, your business, and your brand. We do the rest. Call 978-686-9966. That's 978-686-9966 to schedule a no-obligation tour of the CEM facilities and meet with a podcast specialist. Or go to CEMpodcast.com to find out more about podcasting services. CEMpodcast.com, your window to the world.
Welcome back to Ghost Chronicles Morning Edition with your host, New England's own Van Helsing, Ron Kolick. Make sure you subscribe to Ghost Chronicles Radio on Patreon as well. Lots of exclusive content up there.
Yes, there is.
That we're doing every now and
again.
Am I
on?
Here.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to thank John for his comments on the show today as well.
What do we get? I was probably in trouble again.
I've kind of lost track of the thread, so I'm not sure exactly what they were. He was talking about the heat, the 5 straight days for 90 degrees. He says, I know about it. After my work, I was trying to collect cans to make some extra cash. I know the specific woman got mad at me for collecting cans. She was pissed I have no job and pissed that I had no job and assumed that I had no job, but she was not mad at a specific person or a corner, just trying to collect money from people who drive their cars, just people getting involved in other people's business.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yep.
So did you look up the unsolved bank?
I didn't see any unsolved bank stories, but they had the 10 biggest unsolved heists of all time.
Okay, let's take a look at that before we jump in.
Well, number one's pretty familiar. It's the Isabella Gardner Museum heist in Boston. On March 18th, 1990, two men disguised as police officers walked into the Isabella Gardner Museum in Boston and told security guard they were responding to a call. Stole a bunch of stuff. To this day, no one knows who the robbers were or where they hid the goods from the largest theft of private property in history. Empty frames hang in the museum as placeholders so when the stolen works are returned. The Gardner Museum is offering $5 million reward for information leading to the recovery of these works in good condition. How does this stay unsolved? Someone would have talked, right? It's 30 years now, 31 years. Why wouldn't someone have talked? What do you think?
Unless all the people were involved in it, shared in the thing, and then why should they?
Yeah, someone's got to know.
Everybody made money on it. Why would you blow it?
Who has the paintings? Like, is it Adolf Hitler in Brazil in some mansion on top of a hill or something like that?
Argentina.
The Tucker Cross theft? Do you have any idea?
No.
About that? In 1950,
stole the cross from Tucker.
In 1955, a Bermudan man named Teddy Tucker was scuba diving in the wreckage of the San Pedro, a Spanish ship that sunk near the Florida Keys during a hurricane in 1594. He found this 22-karat gold and emerald cross. He brought it home and sold it to the government of Bermuda, and it was displayed in a museum on the island that he and his wife owned and ran for several years. However, in 1975, just before an official visit by Queen Elizabeth II, the cross was stolen and replaced with a cheap replica. Authorities don't know who stole the cross, which was considered to be the most valuable object ever found in a shipwreck,
it was the Queen.
Or where it is now.
Queen took it.
The Queen could have taken it, yes. I like that.
She needed the money.
The Antwerp diamond heist. Stop me if there's anything that...
oh, I knew that one, yeah.
You knew that one?
Yeah.
The Plymouth mail truck robbery.
Knew that one.
Knew that one?
You give them to him. You can't just throw them out there. The Diamond Hearst do a quick...
The Antwerp World Diamond Center in Belgium is the diamond exchange capital of the world. And in February of 2003, it was the site of a $100 million diamond heist. An Italian man named Leonardo Notarbartolo, a career thief, was convicted of being a ringleader and has since been paroled. Paroled. When did this happen? 2003. He had to be convicted in like 2006, maybe, or something like that.
It was over there. Maybe they have quicker trials than we do.
And he's already on parole. He rented an office in the AWDC shortly before the robbery and used its location to gain access to the bank vault, but he never gave away his accomplices or the location of the diamonds.
And he paroled him? He'd rot in jail until we get the diamonds back.
Wouldn't you think?
I would. Sorry, you're not going anywhere until we get the diamonds.
Plymouth mail truck robbery in August of 1962. A team of criminals dressed as police officers armed with guns ambushed a mail truck traveling from Plymouth, Massachusetts to the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Using an elaborate scheme involving fake highway workers, traffic detours, the men got away with $1.5 million in cash, all in bills smaller than $20, and only some of it recorded in what was at the time the largest cash heist in history. Postal workers were blindfolded, bound and gagged, and put in the back of the truck. One of the men, authorities believe there were 6 of them, got in the driver's seat and drove for a while before abandoning the truck with the mailman still inside. The remaining defendants were found. A grand jury indicted 3 suspects, but the linchpin of the case, Tommy Richards, who was slated to testify against the others, disappeared mysteriously, never to be seen again. The remaining defendants.
I smell Whitey Bulger.
And you think the remaining defendants were found not guilty, and the money was never recovered. D.B. Cooper and a stolen plane.
Yeah, we know
that one. The Banco Central robbery in Fortaleza, Brazil.
Ooh.
Guinness World Records awarded this heist the title of the greatest robbery of a bank, and the plot sounds like something straight out of a movie. In 2005, a group of men rented a property and set up a shop posing as a landscape company a few blocks from the Banco Central, Florida in Fortaleza, Brazil. Fortaleza, yeah. Mm-hmm. They spent 3 months digging a tunnel about 256 feet long and 13 feet below street level from their office to directly below the bank.
Clever.
256 feet of digging a damn tunnel.
A lot of money, though.
Over the course of a weekend in August, they used the tunnel to get into the bank and managed to avoid or disable all the bank's sensors thanks to a tip from a bank employee. From there, They broke through nearly 4 feet of steel-reinforced concrete to enter the vault and stole 5 containers weighing more than 7,000 pounds and holding $70 million of reals, which is Brazilian currency. Bank employees didn't know anything had happened until they arrived at the work Monday morning, and by then the robbers had fled the area. However, they made 2 mistakes that led to their demise.
Oh, I like this.
As Ozzy reports, OZY, I don't know what that is. Outside police would later find a large amount of white
That's
powder.
Harriet's husband.
Yeah, that's right. They would later find a large amount of white powder chalk the robbers had used to cover their fingerprints. And they nearly succeeded, except for one print. Their first slipped. Their second mistake, a member of the gang bought 10 cars at once the next day, paying cash and raising red flags in this poor region of Brazil.
Yeah, think.
Okay, what's going on?
10 cars?
The next day. You don't take a week off. You don't go on a vacation. You just, the next day, you go out and buy 10 cars.
Go out and buy a steak, for God's sakes.
What do you need 10 cars for, by the way?
I don't know. To get caught, evidently.
Improbably, the police managed to catch up with the trailer carrying those cars in another state, and inside 3 of the vehicles were bundles of real $50 bills. 3 dozen people were accused of participating in the heist. 26 ended up in jail for various crimes, and a few of them escaped, but only about $8 million of the total amount was ever recovered, making this the biggest robbery in the history of Brazil.
See, so some of it does get done, you know what I mean?
The Great Train Robbery in
England.
In England,
Yep.
yes. August 8th, 1963, a train going from Glasgow to London was ambushed on the Bridgeo Railway Bridge in Buckinghamshire by a group of 15 robbers who rigged the train signals to stop the train at a remote location.
Clever.
Sounds like a movie, too.
Yeah.
The Dunbar robbery in Los Angeles. Ring any bells?
No.
In September of 1997.
Oh, was that the one with the assault guns?
I don't know. I haven't got
Go
that.
ahead.
In September of 1997, at least 6 men stole $18.9 million in cash from the Dunbar Armored Truck Depot in Los Angeles.
No.
Their evening began at a house party in Long Beach where they went to establish an alibi. But they sneaked out shortly after and changed into black clothing, drove to the depot, entering through the side door shortly after midnight. They tied up the few employees who were working and forced them to lie face down on the floor. The armored robbers advanced on a vault area using bolt cutters, broke padlocks on metal cages containing the depot's cash. Most of the currency consisted of $20 bills destined for drop-offs at automated teller machines throughout the Los Angeles area.
That'd be an inside job.
The U-Haul was their undoing. Somehow a plastic tail light lens fell off at the scene, which the FBI later matched with a rented U-Haul. The mastermind.
One little thing. That's all it takes.
Yep. The mastermind, Alan Pace III, was a former security officer for Dunbar, inside job, who was very familiar with the security process. Prosecutors said he was convicted along with the rest of the group, 4 of whom pleaded guilty, while authorities recovered about $5 million of the cash in the form of homes, cars, and other valuables. The remaining amount, more than $10 million, was never recovered.
Once again.
Brink's Mat robbery in Britain. Brink's truck.
How many are we doing there?
10. I had 10.
Okay, go.
We'll skip that one. How about the Harry Winston heist?
Don't remember that.
The posh Harry Winston jewelry store in Paris was the scene of a 2008 smash and grab robbery in which 4 men dressed as women stormed into the store, pushed employees and customers into a corner at gunpoint, stole almost every piece of jewelry on display, and emptied the 2 storage cases in the back. They made a fast getaway with more than $100 million in merchandise.
Yeah, I remember that, actually.
Making it the largest jewel robbery in France and one of the largest in the world. According to the BBC, police found $19 million worth of jewelry from the heist stuffed in a drain at a Parisian suburb, Saint-Denis, but much of the loot was never recovered.
Once again.
So is that a strategy? Just go do the crime, do the time, and then come out and...
Why not?
Yeah.
I wouldn't allow them out until we recovered the money.
No, of course not.
No? Oh, too bad.
Yep.
Unless you tell us where it is, where the diamonds are, where the paintings are.
The whole idea of parole is you're rehabbed, right?
Yeah.
If you're rehabbed, if you're not revealing where the money is, right, and giving back the money.
Yeah, no good. All right, so I since we're talking about banks, I had a couple of things. I came across this site, and it's all about bank robbery statistics.
Oh, really?
2019. This is just 2019. Now remember, this is the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. So most robberies that happened in 2019 happened on a Friday. There were a total of 509 bank robberies.
509 bank robberies in the
Last
United
year.
States in 2019. Yeah.
Yep. And
And most of them happened on Friday?
between 3 and 6. In the afternoon.
Payroll. I don't know.
Get out of the work.
They have more cash on
Probably
hand
get
or
out of the work.
something? I don't know.
Couldn't leave your job, they would rob the bank.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
There were 25 injuries sustained in the bank robbery. 25. 12 of those were bank employees. 8 were inflicted on customers. Wow. And and 2 were suffered by the
Perpetrators?
robbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guards took an additional 1 injury, and law enforcement officers 2.
Wait a second. How many total injuries?
Just 12.
And the security guard was one of them?
Yeah.
He'd be the first guy to get injured, wouldn't he? It's his job.
Oh no, they're like 800 years old, and they don't. Let me see. I don't want to get into too much of the stats. Oh, there were absolutely 0 bank robberies in South Africa.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I thought anyway.
I'd want to know why, but
Doesn't tell me. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it does. Hang on a second. I'll check that out just for you, Lou.
they were particularly well armed.
In fact, since the 90s, the number of bank robberies in South Africa have been declining from 561 in 1996 to 93 in 9 and 10 to 0 last year.
Huh?
Recent bank robbery data shows that banks were robbed only 4 times in 19. I forget what that is.
Maybe it's a point of emphasis. Maybe they
Yeah.
just decided that was too many bank robberies. They're going to cut these down.
I don't know what it is. Pretty interesting. All right, we're going to go before. Florida has the biggest rise, by the way. Surprise.
Yeah, really.
It seems. Oh, well, here it is. It seems you don't need to pass an IQ test to rob a bank.
I wouldn't think so.
Upon posting.
In fact, that's a fail in itself, isn't it?
Upon posting said pictures on Facebook, 2 people were quickly identified by police and promptly arrested for a bank robbery that occurred in 2015.
They posted pictures of them robbing the bank?
Yeah. Selfies. And who were these?
On their own accounts.
Who were these brilliant gentlemen? John Morgan and Ashley Dubois.
Okay.
Or Dubois, excuse me, Duboe. Dubois was Dobois.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, good job, guys.
They robbed the bank, took selfies, and posted them.
Leave it to a woman to outdo them.
Okay.
In 2012,
I want to disassociate from that comment completely, but yeah.
Hannah Sabata was arrested for committing a bank robbery after posting video of her committing the crime on YouTube.
She took video of her robbing the bank and then posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why? Why did you do that?
A successful bank robbery may not be worth the money, as the average U.S. bank robbery in 2017 resulted in a mere $3,483.
Yeah.
Ouch. Not worth the trip.
They're not keeping cash on hand, apparently.
I don't know.
They got to be keeping more than $3,000.
That's probably the all head.
But they probably don't want them getting into the vault. Just give me what's in the drawers and that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Although with the ability to electronically transfer, why would you keep that much cash on hand?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I don't want to get into too much of this because there's so many of
How
them.
much do you think? How much do you think?
Is it worth it? How much is worth the robber bank?
No. How much do you think they load in an ATM in a given day?
Quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I mean, but how much?
That's why ATM robberies are so big.
That's what. Yeah.
You know, they smash in with their truck, throw a chain on it, and pull it out and drag it somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
But 50,000? More? Less?
20. Let's see. 20s, mostly 20s, right? Although some other banks have change in it, but 20s are usually what they have it at.
Right.
So 5 20s isn't 100, right? So how much? I'm curious now.
I've always been curious on what the what the load is.
I'd ask my friends at the bank, but they wouldn't tell me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are just regular bills. These aren't 20s. I only got 120 there. But just to give you an idea, I mean, that's where's the camera? I'm sorry.
Yep.
I mean, that's
$100. 5
that
bills.
would be $100.
Yeah.
And that's not even squished. You
Right.
know how you get your money out, you can barely move the freaking things.
Right. It's, usually
So I
new stuff
mean,
too.
you think about I guess you can hold quite. I'd say more than the 500, way more than this. You're talking thousands.
Yeah, 50,000. That would be my guess.
50,000 is good.
But think about how much cash you have to have to service the amount of ATM machines there are to 5 figures a day, 10,000, 20,000.
I know.
I mean, how much cash is sitting out in ATM machines right now? I mean, just stunning.
Well, not talking about money. I have this bill that I picked up.
Oh, what happened there?
You see this bill?
Yep.
Ooh, it's getting worn too. Well, I was given this bill one day, and it's written green on it, and it says 3/04/2013. So I've had it for 8 years because I got it that day. And it's written in a language which I have no clue. You know what? I'm going to have to take a scan this. Although I think that might be kind of, well, I don't do both sides. I'll scan this and see if somebody can tell me what the hell language is this. We looked at everything. I can't even understand it. I don't know what language is it. But yeah, I'll scan that on there. I've had that ever since. I carry it for luck. And this one here, this is a $50. But you know what the other half of this is?
What? Where is it?
It's at the only stigmata's grave in the United States.
Really? You donated $50?
Well, we went there and people left all kinds of money. I tried to grab some, but I couldn't reach it. No, I mean, people left all kinds of money there. So I didn't have any change on me. So I ripped $50, $1, and I stuck it.
You couldn't just leave the dollar?
No, because I kept the other half. So I'd have a connection to the stigmata. For those who don't know, a stigmata, it's somebody who bleeds through the hands and usually sometimes on the head and the wounds of Christ, basically on the feet too. So yeah, it's a story. Well, maybe I'll mention that next week. I'll give you all the details on that just for thing. This dollar bill I found while I was mowing the lawn.
Your lawn?
Yeah, it's mowing the lawn.
Okay.
Got paid for it. I love it.
So you have like relic
Dollars.
money in your...
Yeah, I have relic dollars. I have another one too here. This one came from a haunted place. Just showed up one day while we were doing it. It wasn't there on the floor when it just appeared. I mean, I would have been happy if it was 100 or something, but it's $1. So I was doing an investigation in a haunted place. We were in a room, and all of a sudden this dollar appeared on the floor.
I'm just trying to figure out how much money an ATM holds.
Yeah, that's okay. So we talked about money, and anyways, we are gonna move on a little bit. I think until we. All right, let me get. Well,
according to everydimematters.com, they're estimating it'll hold $280,000.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, I mean that's a lot of money.
As you probably already know, most ATMs dispense $20 and $50 bills. This is because a typical ATM has 4 cash cassettes. Excuse me. Usually 2 are dedicated to holding $20 bills and 2 are for $50 bills. Although, of course, this is not hard and fast rule. A person responsible for stocking the ATM chooses the types of bills that are carried. Nevertheless, assuming you have a typical ATM setup, each of the 4 cash cassettes can hold 2,000 crisp banknotes. Notice how we said crisp, meaning that the banknotes are older, less than 2,000 will fit.
Right.
Therefore, that's how we get to our $280,000 estimation for when an ATM is fully stocked, and more specifically, $4,020 bills and $4,050 bills. That's how much they can. I doubt.
They hold a lot. I know that.
I know how much they can hold, but no one is putting $280,000
No,
in every ATM.
unless it was like in New York City or something. That's, you know, how some of the ATMs are actually in the bank,
right?
You know, so
Right. I'm guessing your typical CVS or something, what, $10,000 maybe.
yeah, probably. I would guess. I mean, because you have to fill all those ATMs wherever they are. Some from the convenience stores and everything else.
Think about that, though.
If we
Think
have
how
any-
much
if it-
cash
wait a
is
minute.
out there.
If we have any friends out there in the banking world, you can remain anonymous, by the way. You can
Sure.
message us, or you can send me an email at anyghostproject.com. No, anyghostproject@comcast.net. And
Because there are some neighborhoods
know.
you're not putting that kind of money in,
No.
you know, and those machines that are standalone machines, because they get ripped off.
this is an interesting fact.
Mhm.
The biggest heist on the planet was led by former
The last presidential election.
it was led by former Iraqi President Saddam Hussein.
There you go. There's our buddy.
Okay. The biggest bank robbery in history took place the day before the Iraqi war broke out in 2013, when Saddam Hussein sent huge trucks of his own son to the central bank in Iraqi. Employees of the bank were instructed to hand over almost $1 billion in cash so Hussein could keep it safe.
Yeah.
The majority of the money was later found during raids. A substantial amount of it was stolen by U.S. soldiers.
Yeah.
35 of them caught red-handed.
There's
35.
There's a movie about that. What is it? King of Three Kings, I think is the name
Oh,
of the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
With George Clooney.
George Clooney's in
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I think that's about that.
Whatever. That's funny,
Well, you know, to the victors go the spoils, right?
I guess.
Wow. So some of that money probably made its way out of
Mhm.
Iraq without people knowing.
So J.L. Hunter Roundtree, also known as Red, was sentenced to 12 years in prison back in 2004 for stealing $1,999 from a bank in Texas, becoming a bank before becoming a bank robber. He was a Texas businessman. The man claimed that he began robbing banks at the age of 80 and blamed the banking industry for his financial problems. He was arrested at the ripe old age of 92.
So he's arrested at 92. Another couple years to convict him. He got 4 years for stealing
No.
less than
12
$1,100.
years.
12 years
12 years.
at 89 or 92.
Just say at 92. Don't even throw in the extra 2 and you've got up there over at 100,
Yeah.
104,
For stealing $1,100.
2,000,
2,000.
1,990.
Oh, I thought it was that. I thought it was $1,099.
No, 1,000.
$2,000. So you get 12 years at the age of 93 for
Yeah, at least.
stealing.
Although they might have given him time served, so we won't read anything. We'll give him the 104.
Still, that's pretty
Because
hard.
sometimes they do that time served while you're incarcerated.
Yeah.
Incarcerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But still, that's a hefty jail sentence for $2,000.
well, he wasn't. I guess he robbed. He started robbing at 80, so he'd been doing it for 12 years.
Oh, so it was multiple,
Yeah.
but they probably only got him for one.
Yeah. They have red-handed.
Okay, well, multiple offenses. All right, that's fine.
Anyway,
What can jail be like at 92?
I don't know.
My Lord.
So, oh, here we go. Damn, right in front of me. How many bank robberies occur each year?
I'm going to guess 500.
Each year, approximately 3,000 to 4,000 bank robberies occur.
Wow.
According to the FBI, in 2019, there were, holy crap, 267,988 robberies, which 1.4 were linked to banks. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot. Can you imagine that?
People are stupid. And I'm guessing the vast majority of those weren't as well thought out as our friend.
What state has the most bank robberies? The Republic of
Texas?
California.
California. Okay.
Who was robbed the most?
What bank?
Who has robbed the most banks?
Oh, that 92-year-old guy? No.
Kyle Gugsalian. Gugas. Gugas. IAN. Gugasian.
How many banks is Kyle robbed?
Otherwise known as Friday Night Bank Robber.
Oh,
Well,
God.
that's really original name. I'm just guessing you must have robbed banks on Friday night. I don't know.
Yep.
You know, they do give them names, you know.
The bank robbers?
Yeah.
If they're serial bank robbers?
The FBI do it. No, they give them names anyway if they rob them. Yeah. They're like, you know, the redhead. Yeah, that's how they name the cases.
All right.
That's kind of cool. Anyways, he is one of the most notorious bank robbers of all time. He robbed more than 50 East Coast banks during a 30-year period which he operated. Guskafian committed the first bank rob at the tender age of
13.
close, 15.
Wow.
He is known for wearing a Freddy Krueger mask. And he was meticulous about everything from baggy clothes he wore to the way he robbed the banks.
So he must have got away with some of them.
Well, he got away with them all of them. 50 of them. He got rid of them, all of them.
Oh, he
until
was
they caught him.
convicted at some point. Yeah, until
Yeah.
they caught him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, that's... Oh, here's what we were looking for. Most recently, data shows that 14% of bank robbery cases went unsolved.
14%.
14%.
Wow.
So if you...
Seems high, but yeah.
Oh, this is according to the FBI's data.
No, I believe it. Just
Yeah.
I'm surprised how high that is.
Yeah. Based on bank robbery statistics, the most famous unresolved bank robbery... Oh, we already talked about this. Anyways,
Which was the most famous?
it has just the ones we were talking about.
Okay.
The British Bank of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Middle East was robbed in 1976. And actually, we didn't. And the Da-e Bank in 2007. The Da-ez Salam Bank sounds Arab. So this must be Mideast ones. Yeah, British Bank of the Mideast and the Da-es Salam. D-A-R-E-S. This D-A-R is one word.
Yep.
E-S is another word. And then S-A-L-A-A-M.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, with all the video and everything, but I suppose you wear a mask. What good is the video if you're wearing a mask? I mean, how many times do we see in the local paper they're looking for somebody and they get they don't know who the person is?
In the Islam Bank heist, the perpetrators managed to steal $282 million
Ooh,
and were never caught.
oh, that's gonna hurt.
Mm.
Wow,
Especially the bank.
280 million.
So how many banks get robbed a day?
Oh, I don't know. That would be 100 a day,
No,
10 a day,
7 to 11.
7 to 11. Yeah.
7 to 11. Come 11.
So, what brought this up today? You thinking of robbing a bank? Has been giving this some thought lately?
Well, before the show, you and I were talking, how can we finance this show?
That's true.
So we said, well,
Which is why this is all of which proves why I have a cleaner. I have a person who, when I die, is going to go in and wipe my computers.
yeah, I just hope nobody listens. I'm going to have the FBI knocking on my door.
Because in my search engine right now is how much money is there in an ATM? How do you get away with a bank robbery? All that stuff. And, I've been doing talk shows for 20 plus years now.
There's a lot of stuff on there.
There's a lot of stuff in my search engine.
Mhm.
How to dismember a body.
Yeah. How did, what was dead dating nephophiliacs?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
God, we've had some shows.
Just on this show alone.
yeah,
some of the search.
This show is really sad.
Yeah.
So what is the bottom line on bank robberies?
I guess that you can still get away with them, which surprises me.
Bank robberies may not seem glamorous when you see them on the big screen, but what the above mentioned bank robbery statistics in fact show that the crime isn't always rewarding. This goes back to
Sure.
the small amount. Many bank robberies end up with the perpetuators getting caught and the money recovered. So their personal finances don't get improved. I don't know. You get to go away and get fed and sleep free. So
14% indicates that 86% of the crimes are solved.
so don't quit your day job.
I like it though.
You know what?
I like the first guy's story.
Maybe we should go back to the way they used to do prisons in England.
How's that?
When you get arrested for a crime,
Mhm.
right? So you get arrested for a crime, they send you away to jail.
Yep.
You have to work in jail to pay for your room and keep.
Yeah, no, we can't do that.
Why not?
I don't
It's a
know.
great idea.
I don't know, because
Teach people to work.
the country has lost its mind.
Teach people to work.
Yeah.
Give them standards.
Yeah.
Give them something to fall back on.
Right.
Anyway.
Ugh.
All right. So that's what I got on bank robberies. I don't know how we ended up there, but I don't know. We almost killed. We killed this whole show.
We
didn't
killed the whole show. Yeah, we did.
All right. So next week we'll talk about cursed items. Right?
Yep.
Is that okay?
You going to bring some in? You have cursed items.
I
don't you?
do, but no, I don't. Oh, see what's happening.
There you go.
So, anyways, yeah. Okay.
Cursed items next week.
Cursed items next week. Tune in, and I promise you we'll talk of that. And I won't pontificate either, which I promise.
Yeah.
I love that word, pontificate.
Pontificate, yes.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Where's it come from?
I like to
Does it come from the
pontificate.
Pope?
That's
right?
got to be a religious term, doesn't it?
Yeah, pontificate. The pontiff.
The pontificates.
Unless the pontiff was named after the origin of
The
pontificate.
pontification?
And next week we'll show you where the word pontificate means.
That's true. Yeah. Chances are.
So tune in next week. Good night, everyone. Stay safe, stay cool, and God bless.
From goalies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.